Ukraine seems to be favoring those edges. I expect they'll send a couple to Military Island, or at least take control of both bridges, which means that you do get that shift. If you go back to the Hungary versus Poland match we saw in the opening series of Nations Royale, if you have those few players on the island, it is so strong. So maybe there's a bit of a chink in the armor for Turkey if they can't get control of one bridge, but they do have that core around the Eastern Bridge, so they should be okay.
We've been talking about this kind of throughout the progress of this tournament. It's so funny to me how from seasons I could also just let them all stay. but with the next circle, I mean, if it goes hard west now, I'm just waiting to see Turkey do that spearhead 30 people crashing one compound type play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think we've got a bit of a gunfight going down for the scrapyard compound here.
Might as well get it early. It's like playing Monopoly. There are the people who like to save up money and do nothing for the first couple of rounds, and then you have the play style where you just buy everything you can when you start off with. This is what Ukraine is trying to do right now. We need all of it. We need all of it. But Turkey is saying, "Now, come on, man, you can't have them all. We need
this made it great."
Oh! Get blew up a vehicle and he gets 2 kills with it. Make that 3. A lot of kills coming in now in favor of the Turkish team.
Spyro now in a really rough position. One of the powerhouse players on this team should get shut down pretty quickly there. Thendelos gets him down easy as you like. Puts a few bullets in his body to make sure he knows. I think he knows, but it's 7-man advantage now already for Turkey. That's a big start to the game.
That is a tough start, and that's what I was saying. The spearhead, I mean, it worked out, right? You send in X amount of vehicles, and there's just nothing they can do. And even though you have 16 billion DMRs up on the hilltop, there's just only so many angles you can work with. And when you have so many teammates both around you, but also in that compound already, you're blocking your vision so many times where you can't really be full-on effective.
Now, I think it's a great example of Turkey where they almost overcommit to specific moves. They recognize, let's say there's 4 or 5 players in that compound, and they think, let's send, I think most teams would say, let's send 1 or 2 men extra. Let's send 7 maybe to go do it. Turkey will just send 10 at you. They'll just overwhelm you with overwhelming firepower with the best players on their team as well. You look at that etiquette, DA there. There's a lot of power in those players, and the fact that they just go for those overwhelming 2v1 gunfights and to just take those early man advantages means that they're always going into this phase, going into phase 4s, phase 5s with that advantage, going in with the upper hand.
And it's massive for them to get this spot too, because, as we were talking about before, had Ukraine been allowed to not only get there and get those compounds, but also kind of get set up and get ready for whatever engagements were about to come. I wonder how far that bike will roll down the hill. And rolling.
And the Dacia. Well. That's rough.
Yeah. The bike stopped, that's something. But the Dacia is that's surprisingly slow for a hill with that decline. Huh. Either way, the fact that they got that compound is pretty huge, because with the next circle, should it go west, they would have had nowhere to play.
Yeah, and then they would have had to commit to a gunfight where they're massively at a disadvantage. And I think there's also with there's a lot of synergy you have with Scrapyard and the compounds that Ukraine already has control of on this northern side, because you then have the high ground and the low ground. So if you try to crash one compound, you get shot by the other one, right? So the fact that they've been able to stop them from getting so much presence and so much control over the center of the area is, I think, vital. And I think now you have to say Turkey's in a bit of a driving seat this match.
Yeah, with the player lead already, with them kind of being able to swamp the opponents, you can see 10,000 days barely even gets the AOG and AWM out before he starts hitting kills with them. It's
Snake getting kills. He's not hit a bullet for about a year. There we go.
It's gonna be difficult for Ukraine to bounce back. They would need a combination of some really favorable circles and a lot of Turkish players to maybe go 4 guys in 1 car to get like multi kills in that way in order to turn this around, I feel like.
Yeah, no, the only other option is that you sort of find a group of maybe 6-7 Turkish players and you just smack them. You just send your main players, your big names, in a bit of an overwhelming force towards that area of the map, and try and just take that gunfight and pray the rest of the team doesn't move in behind and shut you down. Because realistically, the longer this game goes on with a man advantage like this, the bigger the man advantage will grow, the less control Ukraine will have. And we see here now how much control of the map Turkey has.
And there it goes.
That's a little bit rough, Ukraine. There is a bit of a caveat in the fact that Turkey is really spread out. So there's an opportunity here that maybe the Ukrainians could shut down this sort of northwestern group here. We've got 4 players that if Ukraine can get them down without losing anyone, it becomes less of a man advantage. If they can do that again on the Northern group, maybe it can be an even game again. But it just seems like, I think maybe Turkey's recognized that.
Yeah.
They're going to back off, try and regroup, and move into specific positions and just stack up.
And that's one of the things that's so big to me, how quickly Turkey is to react. It's not like you have the 5 players that are better than the rest of the team, therefore they tend to react faster, but the team isn't really there. It's like Turkey is one big cohesive, like it's one big unit that it just works. It's like it's one guy who's controlling all the PCs. And like the reaction is just instant across the board for all of them, which I think is pretty damn impressive.
Turkey are the Matrix, confirmed.
Something like that. Something like that. No, I just think it's amazing how we, like, just when we start discussing this is what they should do or whatnot, you see them do it instantly where other teams should go, guys, you gotta get going, and then they're too late to the race. Right here, Turkey, they're always extremely fast and reactive.
I think that's a credit more to the fact that all of the players know what they're doing. Because realistically, if you have that one guy that's having to make every decision for the team, inevitably he's going to forget about, Group 7 that's out on the northwest, hiding in a little compound. He's going to forget that they're there, or he's going to overlook it when he's talking about something else. So the fact that I think all the players sort of know the strategy, know what they need to do in the game, means that they can sort of preempt the sort of the overall strategy that their RGL will bring and just do it themselves. And that's exactly what they've done now. We see this pretty much front line, going north to south, right across the center of the map, locking Ukraine on the west. And realistically locking Ukraine out of the strong positions in this circle.
So, Huth is looking over the top, has found a kill already. They're up by 12, and I feel like this is just a case of delaying the inevitable. I'm not seeing how Ukraine turns this around. Again, they need circles to really center into that compound, and even then, I just feel like Turkey has what it takes to run them, and it feels so far-fetched for me to say it's when it's Ukraine we're talking about, because they're so damn talented. Turkey is just so scary in this moment.
She created looking for a bit of a sneak attack here, but this is what Turkey don't want to be doing. They don't want to be sending these individual players in to do some Hail Mary plays, because if they start to do that, if the man advantage goes from 12 to, I don't know, 5 or 6, I think Ukraine has the individual strength, the individual manpower to actually overturn that kind of deficit.
Yeah.
So they need to make sure that they're always taking not necessarily favorable gunfights, but equal gunfights where they're sort of trading, one for one here or there. If they lose a player, make sure they kill a player as well, and then they'll just trade away to a win.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I think there's one thing that really differs in Nations Royale to normal PUBG is normal PUBG, you're trying to get to the end. Your only goal was to get to phase 8 or phase 9. In this, if you're at a disadvantage, you want to take a gunfight earlier rather than later. You want to take a gunfight when you're in control of it rather than when you're forced to take it, because the longer it gets and the more control the main team, the team with the advantage can get. I mean, Turkey hasn't lost a player yet, and we're in phase 5. But, the longer it goes, the more they can just start doing this, where they can just shut down Ukraine. That kill feed is all Turkish right now.
See, Turkey, and then about to get the run over. That's all they got going for them right now, which is not a whole lot. Oh my lord, they continue. Ukraine had to go somewhere. Now they have found the granny compound. They're down in the scrapyard. But here comes Turkey.
Turkey have lost one player. 31 v8. I don't see another Turkish player going down at this rate. It's an absolute slaughter, a massacre in Severny right now. Ukraine are just getting ripped apart by... Jesus Christ. What a win for Turkey. 31-0. They lost one player. And it was to a car.
One player who got
to a car as well. It wasn't even a gunfight. If we talk about circles we've seen in Nations Royale, we've seen a lot of eastern circles, a lot of Puerto Paraiso, that sort of region of the map. We've seen, I think, some around Azahar, and the odd one in the north. But realistically, we haven't really seen that many southwests. We've seen one or two maybe. So it kind of feels like they're really limiting their options when it comes to making it into a circle, unless they get it. But they got the circle last time, and they only got one kill out of it. So
yeah,
I don't know if maybe they're preferring not having the circle. I think that's something we saw in the past. Right? We saw in Ukraine where they always wanted to be crashing things. So maybe it was a... Oops.
It's a Ukrainian circle.
Did I curse them? I think I cursed them.
I don't know. But...
They're just... I think that right there summed up match 1. That was... There we go. They've got it.
There you go. They've already found as many kills as they did the entire last game. That's
Not yet.
That's so.
Oh.
You don't want to jinx it. They did.
Someone just run
They've evened out the kill count they had in the previous game. I think that's. I feel like that's pretty impressive. Not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's a start. It's a start.
It is indeed. They're ahead for the first time, so that's something.
Code Marco answering back onto Orange.
Oh, I said that too soon.
Where is he? Oh, he does get flushed. I thought he was up on the hill, so I didn't think he would get flushed. But
wait, are they gonna get 2 kills in one game? What? I'm being toxic now. Sorry, Ukraine. I mean, again, Ukraine is an amazing team, and a lot of the players on the team are incredibly talented. It's just I can't help but be, I guess, mildly, what do you call it? Both entertained, but also, what's the word for it? Just scared of this Turkish roster.
I think you can be nervous for Ukraine in terms of their long-term.
Yeah, exactly. That wasn't really the word I was looking for, but it explains the same sentence.
Does the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this and we're thinking, I think we have to be thinking this should go north. I mean, occasionally get west.
I mean, we say woulda, shoulda, coulda. There's no shifting away from anything.
Yeah, in theory. In theory.
We'll see. We'll see.
I'm still very skeptical about how random PUBG circles actually are. I do think there are hidden tendencies towards fields and across the game seems to like. But we have seen in the past Western endings. I've personally played in a city ending in Monty in a tournament before. So there is precedent.
Wang! Up north we go, and all of a sudden you have 3 Ukrainian players inside the circle. That is. Did we talk about not giving up the city? I don't remember. It's so long ago. Oh wait, no, we did.
We said how good the side is worth a vision. There is an opportunity here where they can spot out that the west side is relatively empty. And they can push up towards the God building, as we call it.
Yep.
So maybe there's an opportunity through there, but it kind of feels like right now they're sort of posturing to just make a big push through the center of the city. And given the strength of the Turkish roster in that region of the map, I'm a little bit nervous for Ukraine right now.
I would be as well. It's it doesn't look good now. Arch fallen. That's unfortunate. She created this there trying to hold off. There's a bit of a rescue team coming in. And right now it's working, but for how much longer will it continue to do that?
But this is where she created was sort of the point of a very big spear, right? I mean, you look behind him, how many players are just to the north. So once he gets onto this wall now, it's very hard for Ukraine to do anything about it. And as long as he doesn't get knocked, he can just start to annoy this team. And he can just sit here and just piss them off, basically, for about 20, 30 seconds. This nade might be good for a kill.
By himself for now. There are teammates coming over to try and help. Scream we see fall down now as well. There are players falling, and it's all once again Ukrainian players have fallen down to the Turkish. And you can just see, I mean, what worked as their advantage in terms of high ground and vision before, because they had to push down, it now works completely against them.
But look at that teamwork there. She created, had Spiro just above him, trying to kill him, and the people on the hill just traded out. She created finally goes down. But I mean, how annoying he was in this compound. Yeah, he wasn't actually doing that much, but they had to commit so many players to try and kill him. They kept walking out in the open, and then the players on the Eastern Hill just picked them apart. And now you've got, I think, 5 or 6 Ukrainian players knocked there. Yes, the roses might come in, but the damage Turkey has done is irreparable.
Yeah, let's see that nade. It's going to go a bit far. Indeed, it is. Does bounce off. But look at the amount of dead or down players inside this. This is like the new nursery in PUBG, because there are so damn many players on their knees.
Yeah, and they just keep getting knocked. Yeah, I mean, they didn't really use their high ground to work out the chinks in the armor. They just walked in a straight line, and realistically, they've run straight into the main defensive force for Turkey now. And I just don't see a way for them to get north. I mean, how do they get to that field from here?
I'm, to be fair, not quite sure.
I think the answer is they don't.
Yeah, that's that might be the case. Maybe they just don't. I want them to. I want this to be a good even fight, but I just, with the way that Turkey are playing this, I just don't see it happening. I mean, the numbers were even for a little while. Now they've shifted massively in their favor.
It just feels like every time the Ukrainian players are not necessarily playing on their own, but they're not quite synergized as a team. Whereas Turkey, they always have these overwatching players that are supporting the little groups, the little, like we had with She Creative, where he was on his own, but there were like 10 players supporting him by just watching over, and no one could really push him or do anything. So he had so much liberty to do damage to the Ukrainian roster. And once they sort of got stuck in that house, once, I think it was 8 or 9 players stuck in that one position, they had nowhere to go.
I think one of the main issues for some of these, you would think better teams like Ukraine, like Finland, rosters that have really good individual skill. In the earlier rounds of the tournament, that's kind of what they rely on, which makes good sense. I mean, yes, we'll go out and do our own thing for a little while because we can. I mean, we are a bunch of very highly skilled PUBG players, and we can kind of just we win our individual battles, and that gets us to where and what we want. But now we're at a point in the tournament where it's not just your individual skills that matter anymore. It's a lot more than that, and arguably other stuff matters more than that. So now when you go up against a team like Turkey, you might not see them as a big threat in terms of, but we have this guy on the team and they only have that guy, and we have this guy and they don't have that guy. But it's the teamwork, and look at this, Ukraine finally starting to turn things around, but it might be too late.
There's a little bit of a resurgence, but at this point, each player needs to get 2 or 3 kills, just to make it an even game. So it's just become a point where it's almost unassailable for Ukrainians. They have to do so much work as individuals, and when you run into 3 or 4 players as a solo, I mean, if we look at like competitive, it's so rare you see a 1v3 and 1v4. I mean, how do you win a 1v6?
Yeah, it's are we back to the whole, well, you don't, I think we are. That's a headshot nade.
This is like round 2.
A lot of damage done. Perfectix trying to do everything he can to stay put. Now Konetkot goes down, or Kotzenok goes down to the circle. That's unfortunate, and I'm afraid Perfectix might fall just a moment here as well. Perfectix is still alive. He's up for now. Pants are flying all over the place. 10,000 days will get flushed. Not that it matters all that much, though, because they're just 2 now. This is what Iro is pan out. And it ain't gonna matter. He goes down in the end. Just B20 finds the kill. And that, my friends, is gonna make it 2-0 in favor of Turkey for what, again, not as much of a landslide as last game was, to be fair.
And playing around him. So the fact that every player really on this Turkish roster is having an impact is why I think we're coming into this game expecting a 3-0.
Let's see, Ukraine. They landing on the northeast side. And, well, I mean, there could be turnaround. Look at this. I mean, the Boom and everyone, they've spun around. They were going down towards the south, and they've all just turned around because they see a massive chunk of Turkish players up towards the Paradise area. Now, there you go. Zoom first one to fall, going in favor of Turkey. But there's still a lot of Ukrainian players around in here who could potentially upset.
There's precedent for this. Ukraine took a fight in Paradise against Netherlands, if you remember, where the Netherlands started flooding in sort of 4x4, and the smaller Ukrainian group in the middle just started shutting them down. It kind of feels like maybe there's a bit of a reversal of fortunes where the Ukrainian players are getting shut down. We see already 4 go down, make that 5 untraded from Turkey. And if Ukraine continues to commit to this without stacking up as a big group and returning the favor, it's going to become a big man advantage early on.
And this unfortunate Ruin shoots a teammate. Maybe that's what they need in order to win. Have them kill their teammates, just infiltrate the enemy line from a mental perspective, and then have them start slaughtering one another.
Oh, but once again, the Turkish roster is trading so well. I mean, yes, they've lost 1 player, but they've got 6 down in return. Jeffrey now, I think, is the last one up here. Now, he's got 1 teammate left, but realistically, there's not much they can do. As long as he can get a couple flushes, it's not going to be the end of the world. Did he even get he
did get one.
Okay. But he gets traded instantly. And we're going to have a 6-man advantage, possibly 7. And yes, now the Ukrainian reinforcements are coming in. But if we go back to that Ukraine versus Netherlands game, Ukraine got shut down.
See, well, that's the strategy. Prone it out, see what's going to happen. Darkser is up above.
He knows he's there, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, I must have heard him before. Oh, no. Did he see him? Yes, now he does. Now he falls down, too. But I feel like there's enough Turkish players around to find him. So what we were saying was is that we're in a situation now where Ukraine is in a backs against the wall. They need to bring this one home right now in order to win it. They're down by now, make that 6 players. It's about to be 7, I believe. Yes. 7-player deficit. What do they do?
I mean, this is where the reinforcements are coming in one by one. You know, what they need to do is they need to wait and they need to come in as 10, maybe 15. Turkey's just committed to this and just wiping out those players that are slowly coming in, and they're just feeding Turkey the man advantage now. 9 already. I mean, we've been playing for like, 3 minutes? 4 minutes?
Yeah. It's not looking good.
No. He didn't even...
It is looking like a desperation throw from Ukraine's side of things. No technical difficulties here. We just
an insight into the strategic department of Ukraine. Rather.
Oh, that's maybe what it is. Discord went down in Ukraine, therefore communication hasn't been on point. No, I mean, we can't really blame it on any one thing in particular. The only thing I feel like we can say of this is that Turkey is a damn good team.
Yeah, I mean, I said sound like usually nothing happens 3 circles, then it all goes down in phase 4. I think they forgot what circle we're in. And they ruined my pre-game analysis by just taking a gunfight, and it's looking rough for Ukraine. Rather, I mean, already a 10-man advantage. Realistically, you're just delaying the inevitable. If you can survive into phase 2, there's not much you can do when you're that far down, unless someone goes off, unless someone does something incredible. And from what we've seen so far, I don't think there's a player on the Ukrainian team that's going to do that.
I'm unsure as to what they can do here as well. I mean, I said last game that it was going to end in phase potentially 4. I actually didn't see which phase it ended in. This game is going to end in phase 1.
Yeah. I mean, the only way it doesn't end in phase 1 now is if one Ukrainian guy just runs off and hides, because it kind of feels like if we see on the mini-map on the bottom right, Ukraine's just coming in, just joining in the party, getting it over with. Maybe realistically, what do you do when you're this far down?
Are we actually looking at a phase 1 finish? A sub 6-minute end of the game? That's got to be some sort of record.
Are we playing a different game mode?
It's got to be some sort of record.
I mean, it's over. Like, it
is. I mean, you can see they're just running up to die now because they've realized that they're not winning. I've never seen this before. 5 minutes before 6-minute finish to a game.
I want the solo player on the south now to just go hide for as long as
just run away and see how much screen time you can earn yourself. This is going to come to an end as arguably the biggest shootout I've ever seen in this tournament format. Are we going to finish with 26 minutes? Oh.
No.
No. We're not. Just over 6 minutes. I mean, there are a lot of kills coming in now, to be fair.
Turkey's, I think, trying to kill each other. I mean, the 1v23, 1v24? Is it
nice. I mean, it's good now. Just wait it out. Let them kill each other. Make it a fair 1v1 with pants in the middle. There's one kill. Now they've seen in the kill feed there's an opponent shooting.
They're still killing each other.
Oh, I guess so.
What's going on? It'd be some 1v10. This would technically be the biggest comeback we've ever had. Imagine if he actually wins this.
Before he actually wins this game.
But look how low they are. I mean, there's only 3 players up for Turkey. All low HP. No way is this going to happen. Question. Did you just shoot a tree and get a knock? On our screen.
I'm not sure what's happening here. I think there was a little bit of a camera issue. Focus. They've made it doable, but it still isn't going to be enough. Turkey. I thought we were going to go into yet another store. That's literally called playing with your food there, if that's what they were planning on doing. Turkey takes home yet another win, which